Welcome back to the show. My next guest is a fabulous singer-songwriter. She is making a stop on her tour right here in Ottawa on May the 13th. Her name is Mimi O'Bonsawin. She has a brand new album called Willow, and I'm just going to give you a little taste of what you can expect when she appears at the NAC4 stage. Here's her song, Blossoming.
Sometimes silence is okay. Sometimes I catch myself acting strange. I've got some insecurities, but I'll face them on my own rate. I can admit I've played some games to source out some answers to get my own way. I've acted selfishly, but I found forgiveness, don't regret my mistakes. I'll learn my lessons, I am
Again, that song is called Blossoming. And Mimi joins me now on the show. Welcome, Mimi. Great to have you here, and we're excited to have you here in Ottawa. Let's talk, first of all, Mimi, about that song, Blossoming. Tell me about that song.
Sure. Thanks for having me. So Blossoming is a song on my last record, Willow, that just came out. And as we talked about a little bit, I love gardening, and that connection between land and music is something that's really important to me in my life. So blossoming kind of comes from that idea of growing into yourself and accepting the things that you are, and celebrating that as well.
Yeah, and from my understanding, Mimi, you know, for this album, Willow, you know, you had really struggled sort of with your voice and with your sound for quite a few years, and now you found it with this album. Tell me about those struggles and why you feel this album you finally, you know, found those things.
Yeah, so I started pursuing music as a career, as a work right out of high school, which means I was a young Indigenous Francophone woman in a very big industry. So, of course, it took me a long time to kind of find my way, collect the skills that I needed to, and, you know, to put in the work. So early on, I was surrounded by incredible musicians and producers and things that they helped mentor me. But I think the most beneficial thing that I ever did was play a lot. So now, you know, I work with my husband, we record in our home. Nice. And we both worked on collecting the skills and being able to dive in and trusting myself. So it took me a long time to find the courage and to find my voice. But now, because you know, I feel comfortable and I have a safe place to create in and to record in, I feel like I can, you know, challenge myself and do things, and I did itself really well to this album.
Mimi, when did music come into your life? Was your family, did you have musicians in the family? Did you listen to music growing up?
Yeah, so my family loves music. My grandfather, on my dad's side, was a singer. Okay. But I think I was told that I came into this world with music, and I started performing for my gigantic family before I could even speak. So I feel like it was always there, and it is always there for me.
How would you describe the album in its entirety?
So this album, I mean, every song I think is a little bit and piece of my heart and soul, and most of these songs we played on the road a lot, so we got to work on the arrangements in front of a live audience. So these are all things that are alive and changed over the years. They're all instruments that live inside our home studio with us, so everything's real, and we wanted to bring people into our universe. So there's some nature sounds, there's some shakers made out of seeds from our garden. It's a really it's an invitation into my world. And I say that as my cat is singing in the next room.
I love it.
Sorry.
I imagine then you probably live in that same type of environment with nature surrounding you.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, we moved to the Ottawa Valley 2 years ago during the pandemic. And for me, it was kind of a coming home because living isolated in the forest is very much the same way I grew up in northeastern Ontario. So to be surrounded by forest and cats that are singing, yeah, it just feels good.
Did you teach your cat how to sing?
I did not.
Just
but
came
you know what?
naturally.
It's really funny because every time we go to record vocals, he would do this. So
Oh my
there
goodness.
might be a little Easter egg in the record of this.
You talked about some of your passions, and I mentioned, your passions are aligned with my wife's passions. Gardening, foraging is something I know that she wants to do more of. Making medicinal remedies. Tell me about that part of your life. I imagine that's probably passed down from generations.
Yeah, I would think so. What's interesting about my journey with the plants, so in our family, we knew we were Abenaki, but I grew up outside of my community, so I didn't have access in my family to our traditions.
I see.
So I think about that coming of age of starting to work on music and then learning about what it means to be an Indigenous woman. And then this whole land thing kind of came in at the same time. And for me, that connection between land and music is so strong. So as I'm learning and writing songs, all these medicinal plants are appearing around me and having that connection. So, for me, it's been life-changing, and it's always growing. We grow about 50% of our own food now, which is so exciting.
Nice.
And just being able to recharge those batteries, I think the best way that I've been able to explain it is when you're on the road and you're creating and you're always performing, you're giving so much of yourself. And the land for me is providing that healing, that recharging, and that quiet time that I need to continue to make art. So I have so much love and respect for this beautiful land we live on.
Do you have on social media, do you share any of these, like your foraging or any of your medicinal remedies, sort of concoctions, if I could call it that?
Yeah, of
Okay.
course. On social media, we try to, be really authentic and transparent. So these are the things that are happening.
I'm going to look you up, and I'm going to share that with my wife so she can find you, because she would love to learn from you. Mimi,
Yes.
Thanks so much for joining us. You can catch Mimi right here in Ottawa at the NAC4 stage on May the 13th. We'll be right back.